we are here this evening because the Department of Parks and Recreation is planning to move forward on the refurbishment of the Putnam Trail. It's a project that has been part of city and regional greenway plans for 20 years. And just to introduce myself more specifically, my name is JenniferGreenfeld, and I am the Deputy Chief of Forestry, Horticulture, and Natural Resources at the Parks Department. So specifically, this trail is within the 100-foot buffer of a mapped wetland, requiring a state DEC permit. So we understand at Parks that Van Cortlandt Park and this area within the park is a beloved part of the community. So it's important that the plan is fully understood by the public. Parks appreciates the opportunity to clarify the scope and impact of this project and to communicate directly to the community. We have a long history of studying and caring for nature in Van Cortlandt Park, and we take the stewardship of this great resource very seriously. First of all, the objectives of the trail are to provide a continuous north-south route through Van Cortlandt Park that many different groups of varying abilities and varying transportation modes can safely use, something that does not currently exist in the park. The Putnam Trail follows the old railroad right-of-way. Most of you know this. It was built in 1881, and it was last used in 1982. On the north end of the trail, it connects to Westchester's South County Trail, and on the southern side, it connects to the East Coast Greenway and the Mosholu Greenway. The trail runs past wetlands, and also most of it runs past a golf course as well. Because of its location, the Parks Department has obtained a SPEEDS permit, the State Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit, which will be enforced at all times. So once in construction and all through construction, parks will utilize many methods to protect against erosion and wetland impacts, and these are part of the design and construction documents. They include straw bales, temporary seating, silt fence, jute mesh, stabilized construction entrance, tubular sediment control, and coir logs. So the South County Trail, that's in Westchester, is a paved asphalt trail that's about 10 feet wide and has sort of a grassy edge on either side. It accommodates two-way traffic, and most importantly, from our perspective, it accommodates people of all skill levels and different sorts of abilities. They can all safely use the trail. And this includes walkers, bicyclists, both inexperienced bicyclists, which some people forget about, and experienced bicyclists, wheelchairs, walkers, scooters, and all kinds of transportation modes. The existing Putnam Trail, as you can see here, the South County Trail on the upper left-hand photo ends abruptly at the city line. So the dirt path, which is the rest of the Putnam Trail, is subject to flooding and rutting and becomes practically impassable in spots, especially under rainy conditions or after rain. And there are also remaining railroad ties throughout the path, which you can see on the right-hand side, that create severe tripping hazards and increase the pooling in the area. The width is often as narrow as 5 feet, which is inadequate for safe two-way travel. So the objectives and physical context of the trail shape our design decisions, but so do the funding and regulatory agencies. So our federal funding for this project dictates that we follow New York State DOT standards, which include AASHTO guidelines. And these include the requirement to provide an all-weather surface, low maintenance, and safe for occasional vehicle traffic. We also have to make it ADA accessible and compliant, which means that we have to provide a firm, stable, and slip-resistant surface. Our proposed design includes a 10-foot asphalt path with a 3-foot earthen jogging path along one side and a 2-foot planted buffer on the other side. This requires the excavation of 4.5 inches deep for the asphalt trail. This is the design that has been approved by New York State DOT. Much of the path goes past, as I mentioned, the golf course and disturbed invasive habitat. The invasive vegetation will be removed, as well as some other saplings, no more than about 300 trees, and they are all less than 6 inches in caliper. And we will be having a net increase in trees planted with over 400 saplings plus additional trees and shrubs. The restoration work is in the context and consistent with this restoration work surrounding the construction of the path is consistent with our long-standing efforts at restoring natural habitats in the park. Parks has invested millions of dollars and has spent 30 years really working in Van Cortlandt Park, restoring its natural habitats. We've completed not one, but 2 detailed forest stand inventories comparing change over a 20-year period. In just the last 3 years, we've restored 100 acres of the park and planted 27 acres with trees and shrubs, 46,700 trees and shrubs, and additional 50,000 plus herbaceous plants. This work and experience is leading to a natural areas management plan for the park, and that will be released early next year. We look at things beyond the flora of the park and look at fauna as well. We regularly survey for breeding birds and look at where they are, not just along the Putnam Trail, but in the rest of the park, included in some of the forest interiors as well. We also look at, for example, salamanders. We have a long-running study where we have salamander cover boards, and we look at salamanders, which are a particularly sensitive species, to see the impact of them, of our restoration efforts on this fauna. And just this summer, we started a new ecological assessment for all cover types that will help us. We started it in Van Cortlandt Park, and it will help us compare Van Cortlandt Park's ecological health to parks citywide. So in summary, the project will allow us to accomplish 3 important goals. Well, 1, connect the rest of the park to a regional network of trails. It will improve accessibility for all, and it will help us to continue our ecological restoration work. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.